Right. Hey everyone. Welcome to the Rarible Community Call on August 19th, 2021. We got a agenda this week that ranges from just some updates on some of the recent activities in the protocol. So the announcements we made last week with the protocol launch, and then we wrote another article today. So just want to touch on that. Also, we're going to touch on the proposal that's up for voting. We have some updates from Alex on the product side of things, some updates from a group who recently got funding through the DAO Creator Collective, and then we're going to go into some updates on the different working groups that are happening on the DAO. So we have some updates on the ops side, some updates on the comm side, and then just kind of an overview of kind of where I see the working groups going in the DAO. So to kick things off, I'll just share my screen here. So last week we launched Rarible.org and the Rarible protocol. This website, consider it a work in progress. So if you have any updates or anything like that you want to make or you think would be good additions, feel free, right? This is like right now it's hosted on ReadyMag, so it's still centralized, but it should eventually be a community-run website, and anybody who has suggestions or thoughts or improvements or ideas, we should work on getting it in here. So this was a big thing. This was accompanied by the launch announcement article, which got a lot of attention. We were featured in a number of different publications and newsletters and things like that, so it was pretty successful. Today we launched an article for an app mining reward program, just to expand on this a little bit. Outlines how applications on the protocol can earn Rari tokens for building on the protocol and for generating sales. So this was released today. And then, let me see. Okay, yeah. How do I, oh, there we go. Okay, something was blocking my banner. Okay, so those are kind of the main updates there on some of the most recent things. We also have this proposal that's up for vote in the DAO, outlining the compensation guidelines. What we want to do is eventually have a DAO that employs a number of people. I'm expecting a year from now we're going to have 10 plus 15, I don't know, full-time people working for the DAO. So this outlines roughly what we're expecting for salary ranges, compensation, termination policy, vacation time, all those things. Because it's pretty important as new people come in that there's some sort of benchmark or expectations, since all of this isn't in the public, right? Everybody's salary, all the stuff is open, which is very different from a private company where nobody knows what anyone else is making. So having a clear set of expectations and guidelines is important. So that's up for vote. And then what else do we have? Yeah, I think that's all on my end for kind of the major things there on the proposal side and the updates on the protocol. Alex, are you around?
I need another 5 minutes, not yet at the place.
All right. Yeah, he's driving home, racing home so we can post the updates. So we'll just give him a few more minutes there. I guess we can jump into Creator Collective. Natalie, do you want to take it away and just give an update on what you guys have been doing?
Yeah, sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, a little quiet.
Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's better.
Is this better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So hi, I'm Natalie, and Mark also is part of Creator Collective. So this past Monday, we launched our newest campaign. It's the NFT art competition. And it was basically, it featured the dropping of our interview with Metageist, the VR master. And I'll put a link in the chat in case there's any of you guys who want to check it out. It was a super fun, ended up being a fun premiere watch party with Metageist and a bunch of creators in the chat, just hanging around, watching the whole hour-plus video interview. So that was a lot of fun. And we also had a lot of mentions in different newsletters. Creator Collective, we put our own Substack. Rarible DAO also mentioned us in theirs. And we're doing a lot of outreach in different communities. So in a lot of Discords, in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we also have a couple interviews set up possibly for this week and next week, just talking about the campaign and the collective. And the campaign actually closes August 30th. So our main focus for between now and then is to just be spreading the message on socials, working with a lot of other communities, and doing a lot of short format like videos and stuff, sharing. There's a lot of gold nuggets in that awesome interview, so I'll be sharing a lot of that. And one of the main goals I have too is to try to reach out to more women in the community to enter, because our last campaign we have very few. So I've been reaching out to a lot of different Discords and trying to do that engagement. And I'll also be hosting an event in Decentraland where we'll be streaming Metageist's interview at the Decentrafund Gallery rooftop. So that hopefully will be next week. So just more fun ways to get different communities aware of it, other than just people who are now currently in the Rarible. People have been really stoked so far by the interview, and Twitter is just blowing up. And yeah, so we're stoked. So share if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at it, and also put like a little Twitter link in the chat for you guys. And I don't know, Mark, do you have anything else, or Eric? Or
I think that's it. All the links are on the chat if people want to check out.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you've gotten much support from Rarible.com.
We actually did get a retweet yesterday, which was really nice. And I have been working with Meisha, and she did mention that they're trying to work out their comms to see if we can be put in the newsletter like we were last time. But yeah, but if any of you guys have questions, yeah, please let us know.
Does anyone have any ideas for how we can get more creators involved? How can this get to like, 5,000 creators being part of these events? I don't know. I'm just thinking a lot of like thinking big. Curious to hear if anyone has any thoughts on how we can really get this, a lot of excitement around these things. Not that there isn't now, but I'm just thinking like, how can we make this like huge, right?
Yeah, that's our goal. Would you say you raised your hand, or?
Yeah, I've been also wondering about this problem. There is a kind of a big learning curve when you want to get creatives, artists into the space, especially ones that already have some kind of traction and already sell art prints and stuff. Many of them are suspicious about it, and also just getting involved with the whole Web3 thing to do the initial setup and sell stuff. So one of the ideas I had is to create a possibility of NFT creators to, before they even sell, just to kind of upload, mint it in a very simple way, and then swap with other artists to create traction. And this is something that has value for artists, that okay, I can maybe before even selling and know how to sell and who's the collectors, I can just like swap, and then you have some activity in the network before the actual volume of buying and selling. And once you have activities, you can go out for selling, I think a little bit easier than picking one by one, but I'm not sure, just an idea.
One thing I wanted to say was that like I think that this whole idea of doing like app mining is really interesting, in that when you think about it in within the context of like artists, it's each application is kind of like a artist collective, and that's how, like in the real world, that's how artists get traction. They get into collectives, and they help each other out and things like that. So I do think that like it just like supporting and helping like individual artists, like I guess that's good, but the the real potential that I see with this whole like protocol approach with Rarible is that you can actually like turn the whole thing into applications. So by supporting application, you're basically supporting collectives, and the collectives are much more like exponentially, they have like exponential potential in terms of growth. So I just wanted to say that this app mining thing is very, very cool.
Very cool. All right, thanks for the input. Thanks for the update, Natalie.
Yeah, thank you guys for your input.
So we have some updates from Max now on the comm side. Is Max around? Oh yeah, right. You're on video. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Not sure if my internet is great, but let me give this a shot. So yeah, just maybe I'll give a bit of a background first, because there's some new people here. So I'm part of the comms working group with a bunch of other people in this call. And basically what we want to do is we want to spread the word about, all the amazing stuff happening within our ecosystem. We have so many cool projects, builders, thinkers, and we want, the whole world to know about it. So at the moment, we're kind of focusing on ramping up our comms efforts. We're already doing a good job, but we can do so much more. Like, this space is so big. There's so much to talk about. So right now we have, our newsletters going out weekly, and we're thinking also of ways of improving that. So if you guys have any thoughts, ideas, please share them. We're also we're also doing a few other things. So we're creating articles. We just started a new, series of interviews with founders that are part of the ecosystem. So we had a chat with Coco NFT about 3 weeks ago, and we're going to have a chat with Jonathan and Lewis from Mintgate tomorrow, normally. So very hyped about that. And yeah, we have Eric just published an article. We're also going to publish, try to publish more articles about, Coco NFT. So also based on the content that we created during the interview, we want to publish some articles there. And we have a few other ideas that we're still working on. But as I said, there's so much to do, and the space is so big. So we're constantly looking for contributors. So, if you have ideas, or if you want to, join us, please hop into the Discord. There's a comms channel there. I'll link it in the chat in a second. And, we'd love to hear more about you guys. Mark, if you have anything else to add, feel free.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Max. Thank you for the overview. Yeah, absolutely. For comms, if this is something that is interesting to you, i.e. creating content, spreading the word, marketing, socials, yeah, please hit us up. We have a specific channel on Discord. It's called Looking to Contribute, where you could signal your interest, share your background, and then from there, it also has links and steps to how to contribute and integrate with the working group. So yeah, it's, we welcome contributors. We need contributors. I think this is our project. So yeah, would love to have you guys on.
Cheers.
Great. Thanks, guys. So just to step back a little bit for those who aren't too familiar, the current structure of the DAO and where we're going towards is a working group based model where we have different areas of specialization. So, we just talked about a comms working group, which involves a number of people, and there's an operations working group, and we're working on getting a developer relations working group and dev working group, and the way that these would work is that these working groups would operate almost autonomously in a way. They'd have their own budget, their own team, and they'd be able to grow and be self-accountable to a certain extent, and accountable to the DAO as well. So that's kind of where we're going towards. We're not there yet. We're still mainly just one group because of our size, but I think as we start growing, we'll start specializing into these different areas. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there. All right, so I guess we can move on to little bit of the ops updates from Mark. So Mark is part of the ops working group. Maybe just give us a high level of what's been going on there and what the goals are.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Yeah. I mean, like what Eric said, the working groups right now is tiny, and we would love to have contributors help us out with, certain tasks. So, together with comms, I'm also part of the operations group, and we have two main focuses right now. One is people, and that includes community management, Discords, forums, coordinating, building, onboarding, and then we also have another focus, which is treasury, management, accounting, grants, proposals. And in general, ops does the day-to-day and keeping the DAO ecosystem like healthy. So yeah, it's a small group of people, but we get stuff done. So with the recent protocol release, most of our efforts are really to support and augment the process of smoothly enabling onboarding of developers, partners, stakeholders. So currently, very much just high level right now, we are working on restructuring our Notion page. I mean, it's already up. And we're looking for ways to tighten it up so that it's much more accessible. Like once you get there, information that you need is already there. So that's one. Forums, we're tightening up the flow. We're also working on moderation and working on engagement in that. There's one area that we need help on, migration. Previously, a bunch of our governance proposals are on Rarible.com forum, and we would love to migrate that over to Rarible.org forum. And I think for Noah and I, we're not too technical, and so we're looking for ways how to migrate that. But if you guys have any insights or if you could help us, please let me know. I'm Mark on Discord. And then Discord, one of my tasks is to make sure that all the bots work and that everyone has their roles, and that onboarding is smooth, and that when you actually go in the funnel, that all the information that you need is there. Of course, there's an iteration process. So if you have any feedback on how to make this better, please let me know. There's two more things. Snapshot. I think currently we're looking at one person voting, like configuration. I think in the previous operations call, we were discussing of like exploring other voting styles, maybe quadratic, maybe conviction. And also another thing that we're also exploring is how can we increase voter engagement? And maybe this is something that can be helped by the upcoming or the work in progress, like the staking work in progress project that I think Eric has previously brought up in the past. And lastly, treasury management, accounting. We're exploring ways how to automate and manage it much more better and much more transparent too, so that everyone knows the health of the treasury. So yeah, that's what we're up to, and that's what we're focused at the moment.
All right, thanks, Mark. So there's two more things on the agenda. First, I'm just going to start by talking a little bit about the working groups and some of the working groups we're trying to grow. It ties into a little bit what Mark was saying on the ops side of like hiring and onboarding. And then I'll pass it on to Alex to finish off with product updates, and we can just have a little bit of time for any questions that anybody has. So in terms of the working groups, I sort of mentioned some of the main focus areas right now that I'm focused on and trying to recruit for are developer relations, to grow that side of the team. We have Angus here with a background in developer relations who's helping out. We're going to be adding to that. And then also, hopefully, what I'd like to do is have a set of developers that are working full-time for the protocol, that are hacking on projects, that are building that are really just, helping new teams and projects, building features. And I think it'll be kind of like a lab where we can experiment and bring new ideas to life. So really looking forward to growing that side of things too. Right now it's very early. If you know any developers who would be interested, feel free to direct them to me, and happy to chat to anybody. And then the other area of focus is biz dev and growth. So a big part of adoption is going to be getting out there, getting in front of teams, doing outreach and inbound. Yes, that's going to be a big focus area that's going to be growing quickly. And that's part of the reason why I was trying to get this compensation guideline out, is because a lot of new people are coming in and we need some sort of framework for that. So yeah, hopefully I think over the next 6 months, things are really going to start taking shape. It's going to be really interesting as the team starts growing. So that's my update on that. I can pass it on to Alex, who can give us some product updates on Rarible.com and the protocol, and then we can just open it up for Q&A.
Thank you, Eric. Super happy to be here today. Well, obviously the biggest update on things that we released the protocol a couple of weeks ago. The market reacted quite well to that. And I'm super excited about today's release of the app mining program. That's exciting as well. So for the updates on the Rarible.com, we do have a couple of them. Let me show them to you. Can I please have the screen recording functionality? Not recording, but sharing.
Yeah, good.
Well, I think the biggest one you probably already seen on Twitter, but it's a little bit more than that. So here we added this top collection section, and it tracks not only the Rarible sales, but like sales from other marketplaces. We started with OpenSea. So here is basically the most popular collections that you have on the market, like generally, not only on Rarible. So that's quite effective in understanding what's going on, really. So as for today, we can see that Parallel and our blogs are super active. Also in the activity section, you can also see all the activity, again, sales, not only from Rarible, but from other places as well. So this is cool. And that was mostly like the last week updates. And for the current week, I think I want to show you something. It's in the dev, yeah, not yet released, but I wanted to give you a sneak peek. So we've been asking the community of what's missing on the marketplace, and like almost everybody said us like the filters. So we're doing filters. We have the filters by category, by collections, with the ability to search the collection, with the sale type, timed auction, fixed price, not for sale, open for offers, with price range and sortings like low, high, high, low, auction ending soon. And moreover, we have these new things. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that is, but that's a trade filter. A huge thing. Hopefully we'll soon see that in production. Basically, we are going collectibles all in. That's what the market is today. On the protocol side, so we have this interesting things that are coming to the protocol. I've spoken about them before, and I wanted just to bring them on once again. So obviously, these things with activity from the other marketplaces available on the protocol level, and then orders from other marketplaces available on the protocol soon, probably even now available already. So you can actually like create it from the indexer, the orders from OpenSea, and you can build this really great a storefront with all the items from the whole Ethereum that are available, so much more liquidity. And we are doing a couple interesting things. As for the bidding in ETH instead of WS. So conversion is really like crazy, driving someone's crazy. Me too. You need the fact that you need to convert ETH to WS to be able to trade. So bids in ETH, they would be like binding. So you need to lock funds in order to place the bid in ETH. But much more like usable in terms of use case. And that's on chain, so simpler contract to contract interaction. Probably, Isaac, that might be interesting to you, as you've been helping the DAO house to build this system when the DAO is like having hard times to implement some signatures. So for this bidding in ETH, it's just a transaction call. And we are going to upgrade the other part of the equation. So selling was just the contract call. So we're slowly moving to this like on-chain bids, on-chain sales, on-chain auctions, integrate party bid, and all things like that. So this is the direction of the contracts of the protocol. Yeah, and a couple interesting things. So the one that I've been talking about is ability to bid to the whole collection. So like I want to bid for like any pound 30 ETH.
Oh,
That's something really great because it concentrates liquidity. So yeah, this is what's been in development, and also we are bringing the ability to trade punks to the protocol natively. Also helpful for somebody who wants to build a collectibles related project on the protocol. And yeah, I wanted to, aside from updates, one thought came to my mind recently. What about us having some dedicated time, maybe on this call or on another call, to discuss strategy? Because like we have governance groups, working groups. We have like Eric, we have a lot of people who are like here constantly, and we're mostly like giving updates, discussing how are things going. But what about like setting the directions and goals and discussing strategic things about like what should we do to bring the DAO to the next level? Like, because we basically have a protocol release now, and it's a product. The product needs the development group that works on it. The product needs marketing, like the biz dev, all things like that. We might discuss them together. I don't know, how can that work? Basically, it's usually hard to discuss in large groups. So might be just we still need a set of speakers that are like pre-signed up on this session that are strategic. So yeah, something like that, because it feels like there can be just like strategic initiatives funded itself, the group generated inside the group to move this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll comment on that, and I'll just say that it is difficult sometimes to do strategy in large groups, but I find, you can present it to large groups in a way if there's a why, like what's the purpose of what we want to be able to achieve is established. And then I would say, it's about sizing, what the effort is going to be and what we hope the outcome would be based on that effort. So if you can quantify, right, the purpose of that, then the numbers typically will speak for itself, and that helps alignment. So I think it's a great idea to know, like, why do I want to build on the protocol? What's the strategy of what's happening? So they can kind of, everyone connect in their mind, the purpose and the effort and just the time everyone's committing to helping grow the DAO.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something that we're going to be working on, I don't know, for the foreseeable future. I think the challenge is around finding the right format for it. I think there's, just because of the nature of the DAO and like everybody's knowledge is, at a slightly different level, just finding an effective format for that, so we can, set the direction in like a fairly concentrated way from like people who are most knowledgeable, and then like, execution trickles out, and messaging trickles out. But yeah, I'm all for it. I think it's it's definitely something we need to focus more on.
I mean, I'll share a link. So typically when I do big presentations, and you want audience participation, nobody raises their hand. So like that tool Mentimeter would be a great way, Eric, as you're like conducting this, where you can get the opinion of everyone in real time anonymously, and it kind of helps flush out how everyone really feels. It gives people that don't feel comfortable speaking up a voice, but then it also allows us to be able to size the general consensus of those who are participating on where we would focus. And by doing it in real time, it allows that conversation to manifest itself organically, which I think is really great. So just putting that out there as a way to be able to open this up and get everyone's participation in a large group.
Yeah.
Yeah, like screw the king. We need a new one.
I
No,
would
really
also
like the
suggest
tool.
I would also suggest maybe starting that conversation on the forum, so that everyone could sort of like async, put down
Yeah.
their thoughts, and and also like on our Discords too, if you want it real time. Yeah.
Totally.
Just yeah, last week I had this idea, like what if we can have multiple deployments of the protocol to different EVM chains, and the people from those chains to be like the holders of that deployment and being like responsible for that one, and then we can bring them all together in the same group and to participate in the DAO. Like I'd love to discuss things like that, like with just on the strategic calls, on the strategic sections to set the goal, and then like spread out, just talking to everyone about it.
Yeah.
Like my 2 cents is that like it might be much like Mark said, it might be much more efficient for if it's asynchronous, because if it's like synchronous, you only get to hear like small number of people. But if
I
it's
would agree. I feel like maybe we just start posting in the forum, like Alex, you have a random thought, you post in the forum, and you get, and we commented. I think that's like generally like there's challenges with that. Like I think when you get to like urine size or sushi, you get forum posts that have like 500 replies, and it just like makes like you can't make any sense of that. But I think we're still at the stage where like it's still small enough that the forum would be a good place. And then once we get to that size, then we can probably just have like very close working groups that talk about those things. But yeah, I think forum is a good place for now. All right, so we have 15 minutes. I just wanted to point out that right after this call, we have a Twitter Spaces event, I guess, an AMA slash, I don't know, just general discussion about the protocol launch. Rarible.com is starting these calls on a weekly basis. So Rarible.com is going to be touching updates on the protocol and interviewing artists, and even having like calls about like their biz dev initiatives and like some of the clients they're working with. So it's going to be really wide ranging, and we're starting it off with the protocol. So yeah, join in. I know there's a couple people from this call who are going to be there and speaking. It's going to be pretty casual, just talking about things that are going on and why we're excited about it. So yeah, hope to see you guys. So yeah, we have a few more minutes. If anyone has questions or comments or like anything like that, just maybe we can just have an open floor now.
I guess I would just say, kind of continue on what Alex said and even what Martin's kind of written in the chat. It could be nice that you start some of the conversations async, like someone could propose something they want to talk about for strategy, but then, I mean, sometimes it's helpful to kick around an idea in a setting like this if a couple people have an opinion. So you could propose some topics, and then maybe for one of the gov calls, say, hey, this is going to be the final 10 minutes, we can discuss this potential strategy, and then everyone can kind of throw in their 2 cents and continue it offline async afterwards. But I don't know, with some things it is helpful to shop it around and get some immediate feedback. So maybe a blend could be useful.
Totally. Any other thoughts?
I'm registering on the forum.
Awesome.
Gil,
Very cool. Well, if someone would say something.
I think Gil raised his hand.
Yeah, so on the agenda for this call, there was also there was supposed to be some proposals for the Rarible Protocol Fund. So there aren't any today to present.
There was just the update on the compensation guidelines. That's the only proposal right now. So yeah.
All right, so at the moment, there's no any creators, developers, nobody proposed yet. So, but there's like funds to be given. So I guess the point now is that the word is not out yet.
Sorry, there's actually quite a few proposals that have been passed. So if you click on the link that I sent, you can see kind of the history of the proposals. Yeah, as proposals, there's an old forum. Let me just get you the link here. Yeah. This is our old forum, and so there's a history of all the proposals there, and that's what Mark was talking about, migrating those proposals to the new forum, so we don't lose track of it. But yeah, there's been all sorts of proposals that have been passed. You know, many proposals have been funded. Projects have gotten funding. So yeah.
Yeah, I went through it before this meeting, and it was written, I think, that proposals teams should be on the calls, but it's not quite there yet, right?
I'm not sure I understand your question. Like in previous calls, like if projects were submitting proposals, they would show up and talk about their project and things like that. But just because there's no teams requesting funding, and we change the agenda and talk about some other topics.
Okay, I see. So teams show up to present the proposal, and then they either get it or don't. And then the next time you meet is probably after they reach the milestone.
Yep, exactly. So next week we have a couple teams giving updates for their projects. Yeah, agendas change week to week depending on what's going on. We've had like guest speakers from projects that aren't even building on protocol. We've had breakout rooms where we just discuss topics. So it just changes depending on what's happening.
All right, so just to wrap it up, this part, it seems to me when there's funding, then usually devs come. We know it from the Genesis DAO. There was like the opposite problem. From at one point there were maybe too much voting yes on any proposal. So I guess this is the moment to kind of spread the word out, but know how to get the funding smartly in a way that it actually is in good ways.
Yeah, totally. All right, thanks a lot. If nobody has anything else, we'll just take a little break, and then I know I'll see some of you on the Twitter call. So yeah, thanks everyone. Happy Thursday. See you guys next week.
Hey.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Adios.